Shut up, I'm trying to watch Judge Joe Brown.
Mayonnaise, Dijon. And I'm like, part of me is like, what is that?
I mean,
Did you eat your pineapples today?
That's mine.
Get out, get out.
But I had a green smoothie.
A detox.
A detox. Simple
Segregated
times. That's
what we
it.
need.
There was literally a hashtag that says before Michelle. I'm talking about Michelle Williams from Destiny Child. I was too busy using our house computer for porn. I didn't necessarily.
Bad AOL.
Right. I was not into watching the little pictures scroll in slowly. Like, oh, yes. And I know you are naked right
What you do?
now.
I'm recording
Where you at?
at the house.
Oh, you got plans.
Yeah, I do.
Don't say that.
Already done. I'm sipping tequila
That's it?
in my clothes.
Really?
I'm not alone,
Really?
but I still look good.
Oh.
What up?
Who's with you, though?
We
Me?
together.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Ow.
Okay.
Ow.
nothing.
Just
nothing.
fuck my entire elbow up on this
Wow.
table.
Wow. Is that the shit that we're on?
Fuck it. If you're going to do it, I'ma leave the door open.
I'm gonna leave the door open.
I'ma leave the door open, girl.
I'ma leave the door open. Open.
Cause I'm trying to zipper.
Yabba dabba do.
Tell me
Okay.
that you're coming through.
That was
Anyway,
ridiculous.
welcome. Hey guys, we're back.
Wow. In case you missed us.
Right. Some people have been asking where the fuck have we been at?
Not a rehearsal.
Not clearly. We're not at rehearsal. We are we're a little sore a little bit there. Welcome to another episode of Nights at the Round Table, Season 3, Episode 13. This is your boy,
Freaky Friday.
Esquire. Who's all over here with me?
It's Coley, baby.
Naji's here, niggas.
Yes.
Have y'all been getting a lot of questions like, where the fuck have y'all been at?
Yes.
Like,
I've been asked, and I'm like, you know what? We had to go get vaccinated. The line was real long. I don't.
I got locked out of my house about a month ago. I'm still outside.
Yeah.
wow.
Someone came in. I came in. The maintenance man had taken all the recording equipment, so I had to wait till he brought it back. He said he wanted to start a podcast, so I was like, okay, Reggie, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just kept making left turns. I couldn't get here. I just
was
kept
wondering
making
where you
left
were.
turns. Right.
And I kept seeing you in the
Not
same
right.
spot.
Left.
Left. I kept making left turns. Ended
the
back in the
left.
same spot.
Yes.
Speaking of being vaccinated, well, first off, to that young lady that stopped me on the street and said, "Hey, look, where y'all been at? This is the only place I get my news from." That is a problem. That is a fucking problem. Please. We should not be your news outlet. But speaking of being vaccinated, so y'all all vaccinated? and stuff?
Vaxxed and waxed, my nigga.
Waxed?
I'm not waxed, but the vax and wax is just the catchy shit that I've seen.
Sounds
I believe
good.
the tagline was stimulated, vaccinated, ready to get penetrated. I don't know.
Wow.
I didn't hear that one yet.
That's, well, I didn't make it up, but I wish I did.
I've heard take a shot. Take a shot? Apparently they're
Get
doing
a
that.
shot, take a shot.
Get a shot, take a shot. Apparently they're doing that like in Israel. If you get a shot, you take it. You're able to get a free
Things
shot.
are really bad over there. So that are they talking about getting shot?
No, not in Israel. Not in. You don't. No, put your hands down. Stop making gun signs with your hands, please. Please,
Everybody
I don't-
gonna die.
I'm very uncomfortable. No, they're like the
Shoo,
leader
shoo.
in getting people vaccinated.
Fantastic.
I had that thought the other day. I was like, you know what? I don't know what's happening in other countries with the vaccines. I just know that people in America are getting. I was like,
It's a mess in Europe,
It's a mess in other places, but apparently
but
Israel's
not
got
Israel.
it on lock.
Israel's got it on lock.
Good for them.
And us too. Apparently.
The place where our Jesus came from. Of course they got it right. Amen.
shout out to Bethlehem. Shout out to them.
You to get vaccinated in Calvary. Where?
On the cross.
Right. We're not using nails. We're using syringes. What did y'all get?
Y'all trying to play me?
Don't laugh at that shit. That is very blasphemous. Don't laugh at that shit.
Well, before things went to hell, I did
Oh,
receive
man.
the Johnson & Johnson
oh
vaccine.
my God.
Coley hates black people is all she's saying. She don't trust our strife and our plights. Okay? That's what it is.
Listen, all I know is that the people affected may the one young lady may she rest. The others, I hope they have a speedy recovery. But I don't have any of the problems they have, largely being because I'm a black woman.
How did you pick Johnson Johnson?
Well, my
Johnson
job
and Johnson.
had a vaccine event, and that was the one they gave out. However, once a week later, when it was pulled, they began to give out the Pfizer.
Because they didn't want to fire people. So they figured we just,
They can't take it back.
kill them off.
I'm good though. I'm going on almost 3 weeks now,
get one
and
of
I'm
each.
all good. So we're all good.
Naji and I got the Pfizer vaccine.
Have you heard? I heard someone call it the P Pfizer, and I was like, two people.
Absolutely not.
They said P
No.
Pfizer, and I said, sir, it is Pfizer. Pfizer.
That's like peanut
Pfizer.
I hope he was not in any type of leadership position or able to affect someone's
No,
life.
that's what happens when you get that Johnson Johnson.
It's like P Pfizer. What is that? It's nothing.
Well, Uncle Joe said that if we do our part and get vaccinated, we should be able to be frolicking in the parks by July 4th. And
Hell
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to that. They said 200 million shots have gone out so far. So
Yes.
It's out there.
That's like Kama said, money in pocket, shots in arms. I'm like, all right, Oakland.
No, let me tell you one more time.
Okay.
I'm down for another stimmy.
Hey, they talk about it. And you have a kid, so you might get one.
I do. I pray.
Yes.
I'm fine for a stimulus. I mean, if they get one, that's cool. I just want them to cut those student loans. That's what I need.
Honey, let me tell you something.
So far, Uncle Joe was told that white girl, "I'm not doing 50,000." But then we see in the news he's been asking about that 50,000. I need somebody to tell him you can do it. You
Put your back into
it.
We see you, Joe. You can do it, Joe.
Did y'all see his State of the Union or whatever?
I watched the
yesterday?
what do you call it? I watched the clips. I did not want to sit there and watch the entire thing, but I did watch the commentary
Did he
afterwards.
run out to Dano again?
No, he didn't run out today. No, I will say this: if y'all have a chance to watch that, he those progressives who were worried about Joe Biden being moderate, that joker's trying to throw as much money as he can into everything. Like they were saying that he's trying to be on his Roosevelt with the depression type thing and trying to like completely revamp what the government does in our lives. So I was like, okay, all right, I see y'all. All right,
I was
Joe.
listening to a roundtable of like White House correspondents and ABC correspondents.
We can't refer to anything else as a round table. We don't acknowledge that.
Well, that's what they call themselves.
We don't
Okay,
even
It was
so
still a
their
discussion.
four white ladies sitting in
Yeah.
a circle talking about shit.
Don't even say circle. That's too
Okay.
close to round.
For
Discussion.
Four white ladies talking about stuff in the government.
Thank you.
And one of them was saying how some
This
people have
nigga.
asked her if their time is like, if they're like bored in the White House now because there's like not a lot of craziness going on. They're like, no, there's always something happening. It's just the right things are happening. We
That's
are
good,
very
Pastor.
busy. We are always in the briefing room. Things are getting back to normal. There's always something coming down the pipeline that we need to research, learn about, put out into the world. We have plenty to do all day long. It's the best ever. And they were just talking about how different it is, but in a good way. And how
You don't say.
right. And like when you said the progressive, they were like, some of them are worried that he's not doing certain things, but he's still doing, like, he's making some very strong moves that other people have been afraid to make. So shout out to Joe. Do
Well,
what you do,
speaking of
bro.
moves, shit, we've been gone for a while. What has everybody been doing?
Moving.
Moving?
Shaking.
Where you going?
Nowhere.
No.
I've just been, getting vaxxed.
Twice.
2 vaccines.
Right. In a matter of 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha,
exactly.
gotcha.
And, just hanging with his kid, watching the little nigga grow up.
Oh, baby Naji.
Yeah.
Good, you do it?
Yeah, baby Nashi trying to walk. So
Hell
Yes.
get him around this.
Yes. I love that.
You can come
love to see
downstairs
it.
one day and see him in the refrigerator getting something.
Well, you want some?
He already opened the stove now, and it's fucking crazy because he can't reach it. When he's in his walker, he'll just reach up and just start pulling on the stove. And he's strong ass, can open the heavy ass stove.
Oh, my.
We got child locks everywhere. He be damned about to rip them shits out. Like,
shit.
I got another one, boss.
Wow.
I'm like, bro, I don't know why the fuck he's so goddamn strong.
Oh,
I was
shit.
not the strongest of baby.
Oh,
Shit.
God.
Yeah, so he smacked me with an open hand and a pacifier. I don't know how he smacked me with a pacifier. Smacked me dead in my eye. I said, my nigga, I want to fight you, but I love you.
He don't know no better.
He don't. And he
don't know
laughed,
better.
and it made me upset.
Tell me, I remember this moment.
Like, you be beating your father's ass right now. You happy about that shit?
But
I've
yeah.
not been doing.
Ooh, and I've been watching
Oh, okay. Oh,
Game of Thrones again.
Oh, you're back there in Westeros.
Hey,
Y'all are good.
I'm in
going back to that
Blavos.
world.
as you were saying. I just want to
No,
make sure
I
the world
support
knows
that.
this.
I fully support that. When I did it a couple months back, that was a wonderful time in my life.
I did it then too.
I have been just kind of chilling, working. I've been brunching so hard. I've been brunching like brunch is the only thing that's out there in the world to do.
Brunch so hard, motherfuckers trying to find you.
Yes, literally. Like when is the next time we're going to brunch? And if I say I'm not going, it's like, what do you mean you're not going? It's like, well, I'm not going today. But if
Put
you're
your
looking
foot
for me,
down.
you can find me
not going.
at somebody's breakfast table.
Ooh, I need to talk to y'all about breweries before the night
Fantastic.
is over. FYI.
For the night is through.
For the night is through. Before
That
Fort-
and finishing
before
Vampire
Fortnite.
Diaries. Shout out to
the
Atlanta.
Yes.
BPD.
Oh, take sips. Oh, shit. I'm
But
gonna
that
get
was it.
Formation.
That's mostly what I've been doing, and just trying to get by and wait till the next time.
What have I been doing? I have been doing some do-it-yourself projects around the house.
You like to do it yourself?
Yes, I like to do it, baby.
Do it, baby. Stick it, baby.
Working, trying to, keep my head above water, making a way when I can. Just trying to get back to normal and not lose my sense of self, because it feels like we're coming up on the end here. And now that I'm fully vaccinated, I can not wear my mask certain places and stuff. I feel like that's an achievement a little bit. So,
But you should still wear a mask.
yes, a mask in group settings, people that I'm unsure about. But that's been pretty much it. Just been out here trying to make a way. I don't know.
I need me a hat that says fully vaccinated, because I don't want it to be assumed that I'm one of those people that
The assumption is never going to go away.
Maybe
Because
it'll be
there's
a
going to be
hat.
so many liars. We're going to be tatted like the fucking Holocaust in a little bit.
It has to be a hat with the little laminated slide in where you can put your card in the top. Just make sure you don't lose that hat.
Right.
But, speaking of which, are y'all getting your cards laminated?
I want to get my laminated. I need to ask my mom if they got one at the
I never even
office.
thought about that.
Getting
Laminated. Like
Well, if
your
I get
fucking
it
license.
laminated, it won't be able to fit in my wallet. So I won't be able to fold it. So I can fold it currently. So I don't know. But I want to. I think it's a good idea.
That piece of paper, I don't want anything to happen to it. I just get so nervous.
I'm going to get it tatted.
I'll get it tatted.
And just show people.
Wow. They need to get a chip or something like that you can get implanted.
You know, the bad part about
What?
that is that's probably going to be something.
That's probably going to be the
that
next
happens
thing.
at some
Well, it wasn't New York has an app. Where are the apps?
Well, I currently have an app on my phone where it'll let me know if there's been a COVID outbreak or if I've come in contact with someone who may have had COVID. I don't know how that works because I'm not reporting if I have COVID. But or maybe when you go in to get treated for COVID, they
So it
already
doesn't
mark you
work.
in. Yes.
What you're saying.
I'm not telling anybody I got COVID.
Yeah, you're just marked with the mark of the beast is all on you whenever you say you got the COVID.
Hey, that's what they
Oh,
say
my.
about these vaccines. Mark of the beast. Does that mean Jesus is coming back?
He probably is, but look,
Pick
it's in me
me.
now.
Take me if you coming.
Choose me. Love me.
Shout out to Derek
Why
Shepard.
won't she die?
What?
Gray.
Wow.
She needs to just die already.
Are you caught up with Grey's Anatomy? I've also been watching Grey's Anatomy. Are you
Fuck.
caught up? Where are you at?
Hold on. First
I
off,
think you are caught up.
first off, before we answer your question, Coley, I need to address the young man who put this blasphemous statement out there. You can't have Grey's Anatomy without Grey. God damn it.
Listen, the hospital's named after her sister, so we good.
Oh
We
God.
can make it
Oh,
happen.
bless.
I am caught up on it. Well, actually, I didn't watch this last episode. I just watched the one with old buddy being pulled over.
Ooh, okay, so
Just
you
that
missed one. So
last
you missed
one.
one. Okay.
Okay.
So I need to watch that
But
one.
that line came from a movie. And I can't remember what movie it was.
What?
I'm like,
What
Why
movie?
won't you die? It came from a movie, and I don't remember what it is.
Ooh, I don't know, but I recognize it.
Can't remember.
Not
either.
sure.
I'm going to figure it out.
I'm sure you can
before
find
the-
it.
You know I will.
But while you're finding that line, I need you guys to find your note. So we've been gone for about a couple weeks.
We're back to the jump off.
We're back with the.
Don't get me
there it is. Sprite can disappear in your mouth.
Austin Powers.
Why won't you die?
Yeah, it was Austin Powers. This is the first one.
Well, since you have your phone
Spot
up,
Shag Me.
what have you been listening to?
I haven't really been listening to a lot of anything, really. I've just been trying to make it. But some honorable mentions.
There we go.
Of some things that I have been escuche.
Okay.
Escuchando.
So
yeah.
there's this artist. What's his name? FKJ.
Yes.
I've sent it to y'all in the group one day when I randomly came across it, but I was watching his shit on YouTube and I've just been in like this loop. But there's this other one with, is this Masego? Yeah,
Yes.
Masego on FKJ, Tadao, the extended version. 7 minutes plus of bliss.
So what is Masego? Is he a rapper, singer, or just overall musician? What is he?
From what I know from the one song of Masego's that I've heard, that's it. He is the guy who makes sounds and then loops it, and you watch him loop it.
Got
Sego
you.
sings. He plays the saxophone, drums, and the piano.
Sexy sax man.
You know, maybe he does. That could be him. Like he could be the black sexy sax man.
Okay.
Yes, that's good. I'm proud of you. That's good.
That's good.
I like that.
Thanks, guys.
I like that a lot.
Coley,
Well, would you like me to go last because I have multiples, or would you
I just want you to
just
go.
want me to go?
There it is.
I want you to go. I have been
this
listening
first.
to a lot of things, but if I had to narrow it down, I have a couple things. An EP by a gentleman by the name Joseph Solomon. I don't know who he is, where he came from. I think he came out of the gospel world, but he has an EP called Find Me. It's a fantastic 7 little songs. It's good shit.
Very good.
Key tracks are Find Me and Gold for Me. Then we've got a young lady by the name Sid B, not to be confused with Sid from the internet, some other chick named Sid. She has an EP called Water Me. Fantastic. Key tracks, Water Me, and something about slow. Something about Talk to Me Slow. Nice and slow. Sweet and Low. Sweet and Low is the name of the song.
Sugar.
Yes.
Sweet and low or slow?
Sweet and Low.
Oh,
Sweet and slow.
Like sweet and low.
No, Sweet and
Gotcha.
Low. And
Ta-da.
2 remixes that I love a lot are Sebastian Michael remix Time with Naji's favorite Kirby. Love that. Remix is fantastic with her on it. And Good and Plenty featuring Alex Isley, Lucky Day, and Masego.
Masego.
And it looks like you got one more on there too.
Oh, I do. Some guy I discovered by the name of Luke Burr. He has a song called 4 a.m. and I really like it a lot. So,
Does he say anything about a time in the song?
yes, the young woman that he sings it with talks about it being 4 a.m. Yes. Yes, I don't know who she is, but yes.
She's not featured.
She is, but I didn't write her name down. So
She's not important.
She's not
important.
I was going by my memory, and I don't remember what her name is. His name I remember. So, but young woman, I see you. I hear you on the track.
You are recognized, but not
Yes.
here. So,
You are not acknowledged, but you're here.
right. We stand with you, but not
Not
here.
by you.
I don't have such a laundry list of music as Coley has put out. And shout out to you, Coley. I think you've done enough music for all of us for these last few weeks that we've been gone. So y'all check out the list.
Coley's own playlist coming soon.
The list.
She didn't miss this.
I struggled with this one because I was like, I did hear some music, but I wasn't like listening for new music. I just kind of doing other things. But I do remember downloading a young man. His name is Sam Dew. He released a new album called Moonlit Fools.
The album's out?
Album out. Yes, it is out. It is absolutely out. It's out. It came out in February, actually. So, yes. He has some. I will say this. He reminds me of. I thought it was like a white dude that was singing at first, but he's not. And he kind of looks like you, Naji, a little bit. Just like with the beard and everything like that. He kind of looks like you.
Okay, cool.
Or whatever. Some notable tracks off that song, Moonlit Fools, are.
But he sounds like a white man.
Yeah, until you realize he's not a white man.
Okay.
And based on like his lyrics and stuff.
I'm downloading
He
it.
has a song called Gone featuring Kirby, your girl that's on there.
She's everywhere.
He has a song called DJ that's really good, and my favorite song, Make It Known. I like that. So he's really good. Otherwise,
Friends who listen, there you are, right there.
there I am. I'm right there. Hi. I'm here too, guys.
Ta-da!
Right. So good like that. Other than that, I've been listening to like a lot of throwbacks. So some Justin Timberlake, some Miguel's, and all that kind of stuff. But this is my only new person that I've had in these last month.
No, I love that. And you taught me something, and I love to be learning new things.
I will throw what I've also been listening to out there at the end because it's not going on a playlist because it doesn't fit. You know, I don't want our 9 to 5 audience to stop listening because of
Why?
my choices. But I want to say regardless, so if we want to put it together, we can.
It's going to go on the playlist regardless.
It may be like it's not going on the playlist. I guarantee it's like more left than Hamilton. Like more left.
Is it like praising the Ku Klux Klan or something? Like, what are we listening to?
I don't really know.
We'll put that on there too.
It's got like Heil Hitler on repeat. Like,
No,
what
it
is
doesn't. Not this one. But I've been listening to a lot of Armin van Buuren. Armin van Buuren is a DJ, I do believe, and he does trance music. So
What does that mean?
It's like house dance kind of music, but it's very long songs. So you kind of just get lost. He had a radio station some years back, and it was called State of Trance. So for like a 2 hour, he would just mix shit for like 2 hours, and like it's the same kind of like underlying beat behind it that kind of goes the whole way through, but then he'll like mix in different songs and shit. Like you got Death Cab for Cutie, like all kinds of shit. I thoroughly love that shit, and it was great for me in the gym. I'll let y'all hear one later if you have any interest. But,
If we can put brass tracks on,
but brass tracks has a different feel to it. Like I think people
This is like that low light. It's like mid tempo, but it's kind of like
What this?
Yes.
Not at all.
Not mid-tempo?
It just depends on the song. Some's mid-tempo, some's fast. We will discuss offline.
We'll discuss offline. If we can put Brass Tracks and Kirk Franklin on our playlist,
it's different.
After sexing and talking about drugs and stuff, I'm pretty sure we can find a way to put that song in there. And if not, we control the playlist. We can put it on there regardless. So,
right in the fucking middle, right when you getting your fucking groove on.
Right.
This.
Like
Keep
this,
grooving.
this is actually the interlude. So you go ahead and get something to eat, get some popcorn. We're back with more lyrics later.
We'll let it play. Well, there are lyrics too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's not like all instrumental. There are like instrumental sections, or like it's kind of like how Tadal works, where they're not always having like a full, like long list of lyrics per se. It's like there are some things here and there, but some songs are more wordy, some songs are less wordy. Just depends.
Excellent. I love that. What I also been listening to that will not go on the playlist just because it's just hard to fit things in there. That I'm going to put that on there because that will fit more than what I've been listening to. CeCe Winans, Wherever You Are, I love you. I'm so glad you're back. Her album Believe For It is my favorite album of 2021 so far. Right after Hotels. So sorry, Jesus.
I didn't know that CeCe came out with nothing. She didn't call me.
It's out, and I love it.
She released a new
the
album.
Believe For It's a live worship album. It's fantastic.
It is really good.
So if y'all trying to get your worship on Sunday before you go to brunch, CeCe Winans Believe For It. Pop it in.
Did she like do any kind of like covers of like Alabaster Box or anything?
She did do
Alabaster Box cover
on there. Would it be a cover if she did?
Not a cover.
I'm gonna say, truth be told, that was sarcasm. But I did not know that she actually did Alabaster Box. But that song just flows so well.
That album, I think it has like what 13, 14 songs or something on there. And she's put in Alabaster Box. It's like a live version from what she was doing because all the other songs are live. So,
kind of like what Tremaine Hawkins used to do back in the day.
Shout out to Tremaine Hawkins.
That's my bitch.
It could have been me.
She was going up yonder.
My nigga went 40 years back. Like Tremaine Hawkins.
Because that's what people doing like the live worship albums and shit.
I love it.
I feel you, my nigga.
And shit.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Tremaine Hawkins. Is Tremaine so alive?
We don't know. We don't even know. We just
don't know.
We're just going to assume she is.
Tremaine got a shout out.
She vaxxed and waxed. That's all that matters.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
unless she went up yonder.
Speaking of vaxxed and wax and all this other stuff, we're going to talk about, it's been a long time since we've been at that gate. And I don't even know if it's open, if it's closed.
The gate doesn't exist.
It doesn't.
There's a remnant. There are gate posts of where the gate used to reside.
Smoking.
It might be a hologram. Is it a hologram? We think it's a gate, but it's not.
You remember on WandaVision that invisible force field?
Yeah.
It's like that. If
what
you
is
get
it called?
too close
Going
to
into it? What is that? What was it called? Going into it?
I don't remember.
Going into the. I can't remember.
But you can't see it unless you right up on it. If you touch it, it's over for your ass.
Yeah, you getting fizzed old.
Right, you turn into a different person. Coley,
just your clothes.
Coley, you were telling us something about, we're laughing, we're joking about our masks, and we're talking about our vaccines, but of course Fox News has that one person on there that's wilding out.
Well, Satan's number one minion.
Wow.
Tucker Carlson.
Lucifer.
Beelzebub.
Yes. Tucker Carlson stated the other night that in a fury, he was on a rant of general things, but in the end of that rant, it became about the mask wearing. And he says that if you're walking down the street and you see someone wearing a mask, it is fully okay and acceptable to run up to them and tell them that mask offends you, it makes you uncomfortable, and they need it and request that they take it off. And if that person is a child, you should immediately tell those parents they are doing child abuse. You should inform the authorities that it's child abuse for children to wear masks on the outside. It is not necessary. It is uncomfortable. It's ridiculous. You should not do that. And he's sitting there, and I'm looking at him like, okay, all right. So you just run up on the street to the little kids. So the little kids in their masks, you're going to rip them off. You're going to call the cops. Got it. I don't know. Fox News, that's something with the fake news. So maybe it's fake news. Maybe it's not real. I don't know. But as we're out here and things are opening up, he's been very anti-mask all along. He's always said that it's ridiculous and he doesn't understand why we have to wear them. I don't want anyone walking up to me or my invisible children if I had them telling me that they're uncomfortable by my mask. I said, well, I'm comfortable by you being this fucking close to me. How about that?
I don't know if it's fake news or just terrorist propaganda to be running up on somebody talking about I'm calling the cops for you and your kid just your kid wearing a mask on. Does he not read the news report? How many people died from COVID so far? 500 and some thousand?
Well, on Fox News, they have a different stream of news than we do.
That's true.
So I think they were reading other news. So there's that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they were only using Donald Trump's tweets as news, so the actual news was unbeknownst to them. I think.
Well, they must be out of news because he hasn't tweeted in a while.
Which is why he said that, because he walks outside, he sees these masks where he's confused, and Donald Trump is not tweeting to tell him what he should do.
That is true.
So,
okay.
I hate that.
Well, speaking of calling the cops, it's been a lot of police and activity amongst black folks. Shout out to Derek Chauvin. Did we give him a shout out? Is there a shout out to that, or we shout out to the jury? To the jury. Shout out to the jury. Okay. Well, y'all know recently, Derek Chauvin, was it last week? Was it last week or week before last?
I think week before last.
Week before last, where he was found on 3 counts of different versions of murder and waiting to be sentenced in the George Floyd killing. He's a murderer.
I was told about a what is this thing called? It was a TikTok apparently, and this lady was basically saying, I know it's hard for you all to remember his name. His name is Chauvin, and it's French for murderer.
Yes,
I was
I
like,
saw that.
that's funny. And that's how I remember his name, because I couldn't remember his name, because I was for a while I was just saying, the George Floyd case, and then I was corrected
that
George Floyd is not on trial. So therefore, by framing it that way, you make it seem as though he has done something wrong. And it's not even George Floyd, anyone representing George Floyd who is even like prosecuting him. No, it's the state who is prosecuting him. So Honey put me onto that. She was very upset when I said the George Floyd case, and she quickly read me my rights and let me know what it is. So shout out to that.
George Floyd was not on trial, although Derek Chauvin and his team tried to put George Floyd.
They did.
On
They
trial.
damn sure did.
They did.
I just think, I don't know. Are we the police out here? I'm glad that this happened. As they said, this was not justice, this was accountability. So I'm glad it worked out that way. But in general, the police in this last month or so, I guess, it's just been really fucking wild. Like on that same day, there was a shooting of like a week before that, another one. The one here in North Carolina has gotten out of control in the last couple days. It's just like, who left the gate open for the police? And it's just like, what are y'all doing? What are the rules here? How does this operate? How do we protect? I don't know. Like, it's insane what the police have going on. Like everywhere, like y'all, like hold my beer is what the cop said. Oh, George Floyd. Oh, Derek Chauvin's he's guilty. Watch this.
Well, I saw here in the news recently they were saying that in a lot of places that there's been an uptick in cops retiring or leaving the force, just because with everything that's been going on. And my reaction to that is good. So you go ahead and leave, and we need to be recruiting people and getting rid of that old mindset of policing and the old way of doing things. And we need to start from the ground up and get some fresh faces in there, get some fresh thinking, like how these companies do when they don't hire internally. They look for people in different segments so they can be trained, but also see what their worldviews are. We need some new people in there. We need some new blood. So I'm fine with that.
Don't say that. They may take it literally.
Oh, we need new blood? Oh, God. Not to be confused with True Blood.
We
need new blood.
Negative.
No, I hope that whatever initiatives are out there that we continue to, and by we I mean the people who are in place to fight for us, continue to do that, because it's insane what is happening all the time, everywhere. It has to stop. So whoever's in charge of that, let's keep pushing, because they can't keep doing these things. And it's not even about like the wrong that may or may not be done when these things happen. It's just like, who asked you to do what you're doing? That doesn't make any sense. Never been a cop, don't want to be a cop. I don't even like guns, but I can promise you that I would, if I'm in charge of one, I'm going to probably discharge it the way I'm supposed to. So I don't understand this. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No one told any scenario. Scary ass to be a cop.
That part. Like, what are you doing?
And it's the double standard in the policing is just like really, really crazy. Like, especially what we saw with
Dylan Ruth.
Not with Dylan Ruth, but with what's his name, Dante, the one who got murdered for the traffic stop, with the police officer doing the taser and the gun, but then you look at something where I think it happened in like California, or it was one of those states where a guy got upset about a mask policy, white dude, attacked the employee with like a 2x4, ran out to his car. The police came out there. They were trying to like stop him. They jumped on his car. He's literally attacking police officers. The police officers on his car. He drives off with the police on his car, and they're chasing him and all this kind of stuff. And he gets away alive. And I'm just like, why is it that with us or people of color, we have to automatically get the over policing, but the other people they're able to get takedowns,
Sandwiches.
they're able to get or sandwiches, or they're able to
High
get
fives.
the reasonable benefit of the doubt that they're not a threat to us type of thing.
It's unfortunate. I just want to go ahead and clarify a statement here. My snicker was not about what you were talking about. It reminded me of something that happened in life.
Okay.
And therefore I snickered. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm laughing at what you were saying. It was what it reminded me of. But I completely agree, because the problem here is the fact that you can't keep saying, well, those are just the bad eggs. But it's interesting that the bad eggs only show themselves when they are in front of a certain type of other person.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it hard for me.
And even there's a right now, and I have not checked since about 3:34 today, the last time I saw it, up in Boone, there's a standoff going on with a gentleman who's in his house. We don't know. I don't know what color the gentleman is, but so this is more about what the police are doing versus what the color of the assailant is. Someone did a wellness check on him. When the cop showed up, he started shooting whoever he is. And he's in his house currently. 5 people have been shot. 2 are dead. One of those is a cop. But they're just surrounded his house, and they're just waiting for him to come out, which I'm not saying that this is not a sensitive situation, but it's like it's all day you're letting this person who's been shooting people up all day get away with this, whoever they are. So it's like there's so much care that's being done, and you pick and choose when you want to be tactical about things versus being tactical all the time and thinking maybe I don't need to do this. And I don't understand how that works. Like, it
was the same thing when the Capitol was stormed.
Yes.
Everybody was really like tactical, and we're going to go by the book, and we don't want to harm anyone. We want to, there's this crowd, and it's like they broke into the nation's Capitol building. Like, if you can't even fly over certain parts of DC, like not even doing anything wrong, but just no fly zone, but you let people burst the windows down, bust the windows out your car.
Uncle Eugene managed to not kill anybody, even though we thought he should have as he was leading them away.
He should have just shot.
We thought he should have opened fire, but he did the right thing, because that's not what you should do. You should at least, let's figure out another way to handle this. But even in that scenario, they were literally running into you were in danger at that point. You were outnumbered, and you were in danger, not like some of these other people, but he still did not open fire on them. So it's just like, how do y'all make sense of this in your head when you're doing this? And I kind of want to ask a cop, but then I kind of don't. So it's just like,
They were beating cops within an inch of their lives out there. Cops were getting dragged.
Yes. They just buried them.
Like they really had something against these police officers. They stand with the blue, except when the blue's standing in the way. But that's no different than, remember a couple of years ago when those farmers in in Texas or Utah, where they took over that federal building. Y'all remember that? And it's like they took over a whole federal building. It was like a standoff for like a week or 2 weeks. And the police officers didn't roll in there and get SWAT in there to take anybody out. They were just literally in there armed and had a list of demands. But had it been us, it'd have been like, well, we had to use the nukes. So, sorry.
I mean, they blew us up when we were just trying to have successful Wall Street type things. So
this is true. So
Tulsa got blown off the map.
Yes. There could be a whole episode on how ridiculous it is, but I want things to be different, because it comes down to little small things that they do, like the way that they handle things. It can be anybody. It can happen to anyone. It's almost like you have to walk on eggshells almost when you're in certain scenarios to make sure that it's not you. I think all the time I'm always I told my friend the other night, I say the names of all my male friends, my dad, my cousins, everyone at night, protect them wherever they are, because you never know what the fuck can happen. They could be doing normal things, and apparently that's not okay.
It's the opposite of Arya Stark.
Yes, the opposite.
Not the kill list.
The complete opposite. Oh my gosh.
What is everybody drinking on? We forgot to do that.
The Mountain.
What are y'all drinking on?
The Hound.
Tequila.
Was that it? Straight?
And 0 sugar ginger ale.
She got a skinny drink.
She has the tequila mixed with aspartame.
I do. Drinking tequila and aspartame.
Gotta love a good aspartame.
Yes.
Naji, you made our drinks. What, can you please?
Oh yeah, as long as you make sure that you let the people know your addition. Okay.
I squeezed the limes.
Wait, it's not time yet.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Because
I cut the potatoes.
And you also made sure that we didn't put the ice in first.
Not the Fun Stoppers first, right?
Because you heard something. Can you explain to the listeners what happened?
I forgot where I heard it from. Either it was my cousin or someone where they said, I'm not going to let the ice control how much alcohol I put in. So I'm going to put my alcohol in first. I'm going to mix it, and then I'm going to put my ice in it. And
now that makes sense because they don't want to, because the ice limits how much you can put in the cup.
Exactly.
Okay, see, I thought something completely different, but that makes so much more sense. So what we did was we started with some jonitos, not honey. So just regular jonitos.
Yes.
And then on top of that, we added a little simple syrup.
Real simple.
And then you did your part.
I took a lime and I rolled it on the table.
Okay.
Then I cut it in half with a very sharp knife.
Very.
And then I squeezed both parts of the halves of the lime in the cup.
Yes. Yeah. Your Valerian steel knife cut right through.
Valerian steel.
Right through that. And then on top of that, I added a little cranberry juice.
Yes.
A little Ocean spray, I want to say it is. It's a little Ocean spray.
Yes.
Then we added
the yeast.
The yeast.
We added the yeast. We put the yeast in there.
We topped it off with a little Canada Dry.
Canada Dry. Yes.
Not zero sugar.
No aspartame.
No. We got the real shit.
Oh, gotcha.
We have self-respect.
Yeah.
So that's it. I don't even know what it is, or it tastes decent. You know, I'm not mad at it, but
Gotcha. And
cheers.
So, you got you. Yeah, there it is. Shout out to y'all.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, there it is.
Ooh, catch it.
You went somewhere.
Catch it.
You went somewhere.
No. I'm trying to figure out, because I looked at this coaster that we got underneath our drinks.
Yes, God.
Yes.
And it reminded me, because I was like, oh shit. These were like custom made.
Custom made.
Who made them again? What was his name?
Ladies and gentlemen out there in Pod World, we have been so spoiled by our listeners and people that we just really, 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 really care about.
Yes.
And that care about us. My homeboy, Be Invincible, with Be Invincible Designs, made us some handcrafted coasters with our logo. Wooden coasters with our face on them.
Yes.
And he not only just does coasters, he does a whole bunch of other woodworking stuff. I know that especially if you're in Greek life, you want to get a paddle made, or if you even want a family crest that hang over your door. He does all that.
Shout out to you, bro.
We need some new ones though.
Yes. Let us know what the cost is. Yeah, we out here. We ready for it.
Listen, just drop the price tag.
Drop the price on it, you know?
Put the new logo on it.
Yes. We ready.
For it.
If you out there doing thing, go ahead.
I was about to say his Instagram is Be Invincible. What again?
_N_Invincible.
There it is.
There it is. Y'all check him out there. Get you something made. It's good. This shit right here, nigga. Right here, this shit, nigga.
This shit right here?
Right here, this shit, nigga.
This shit right here, nigga.
This shit right here.
It's called death.
I'm here too.
Death. Anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this shit right here on the Knights of the Roundtable podcast. So, today we have an interesting little topic, a little background here. I was chatting with my manager a couple weeks ago about a job that I wanted to apply for. And she was telling me that I should apply for said job, and I was like, "You sure?" Like, I'm asking her all these questions about what I see on the requisition number and things like that. And she's like, "What are you talking about? You know, you have this, you have that, you can do A, B, C, D. Like, why do you feel like you can't? Like, you can totally do this job." And she's like, "You know what this is, right?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "They call it like imposter syndrome." I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" Which I've heard the term, but I guess in my head I was thinking it was something different. Mm-hmm. She's like, "No, like you totally have these qualities that this job is looking for. You don't have to, it's not specific maybe, but you can do this job based off the things that you have done in your life in the past, the cross-functional things you do, yada, yada, yada." So when she said it to me, I was like, what is this imposter syndrome? She's like, just don't second guess yourself. Do the things that you want to do. So her saying that caused me to go down a rabbit hole about imposter syndrome, and therefore, where art thou? Talking to these gentlemen regarding imposter syndrome and my thoughts about that topic. So that's what we're talking about today. And I thought it was interesting just because myself as a black woman, I was just like, here I am this whole time. And I think Esquire could probably attest to this, the way that I do things professionally. I'm always like one little step behind where I need to be because I'm afraid to move forward and do something.
True.
Yes. And
behind everyone else.
He is someone who's always having to tell me, go ahead and do that shit. Just do it anyway. So I have fallen victim to this, and I hope that I'm not the only one out there in the world. So when you're hearing this, hope you learned something today. If not, we got some tips for you. We're going to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome and how it's really not a thing that you have to deal with. And if you are dealing with it, how you can overcome it.
You phony. You fake.
Deception.
The type of folks that I hate.
Disgrace.
Disgrace.
Yes. Who are you?
Even as clear
But
as the sky.
show of hands, guys. Have you ever felt like you're not supposed to be where you are? Have you ever felt like maybe you got to the point that you're at by luck, or maybe you feel like you're not as talented as some of your peers? If you guys are not raising your hands to the table, that is okay. But if you guys out there listening are, that's totally fine. You are possibly a victim of imposter syndrome. Excuse me.
Yes. I never felt that way.
Good. That's fantastic, actually.
Yeah, I always felt like I always had something to prove, but I never felt like I didn't belong. Like, it was weird. It was like, I'm supposed to be here because somebody saw something in me. Like, it was one of those, like, you saw the best in me, and I may not even know it's there, but you see it.
When everyone else around me.
Listen.
Only saw the worst in me.
So that was my biggest thing, especially when I, like, work-wise, when I moved over into, like, the corporate side of things.
I think that's actually what he described as one of those things that's on there.
That is one of them. That part about something to prove. That is one of them. So we will see that very soon. So yes.
So you might suffered from imposter syndrome.
Yes. And it sounds crazy because it's like imposter doesn't make much sense that you wouldn't call yourself that. And keep in mind, you're not an imposter, but this is just, it's a feeling of feeling like, I'm here, but I need to do more to remain here. Even though you, like you said, someone chose you to be here. So it's fine that you're where you are. You don't have to do anything else other than do what you were asked to do when you get there.
But the thing is, if you don't know what you're asked to do, if you don't know what you're supposed to do, it's kind of, it's hard to not be in that space. If you don't know what it is that you're, being judged by, you're kind of like, this is brand new. I'm just going to go balls to the wall.
Well, you can also do that.
I would never put my balls on the wall.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Just wanted to make sure you understood.
At least not my walls.
Yeah, maybe. They're nice and white.
Wait. Okay.
This took a turn. You were saying?
Forget about little old me. This is a scandal brewing. No, I don't suffer from imposter syndrome. I think that if anything, I suffer from reverse imposter syndrome. I'm like, why am I here? I'm supposed to be somewhere else. I'm supposed to be moving ahead of where I'm at right now. I'm one of those people that's like a futurist, where I'm always living in whatever the next step is supposed to be, and I never get a chance to really focus on the here and now. But I do know people who suffer from imposter syndrome outside of Coley.
Is that not also an imposter? Like, so imposter syndrome, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, based off of the definiciones.
I've got it here. Are we ready?
Would you read it?
Imposter syndrome is a psychological phenomenon that reflects a belief that you're an inadequate or incompetent failure despite evidence that indicates you are skilled and quite successful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about you already having. It's about you already having that position, but feeling like you should not be there, or that you don't deserve to be there,
or that you're missing something in it.
In my head, I'm thinking imposters like I don't belong where I am, but don't belong where you are is also because you're not qualified or you can't do X, Y, and Z.
It's the negative, right?
Yeah. Versus I just don't belong here because I have 7 degrees and I really am a fry cook part time.
That's exactly it.
Well, that's what I say. I have reverse.
That's delusions of grandeur.
Exactly. I definitely had reverse imposter syndrome when I was delivering pizza after undergrad.
Well, also, even like putting a name on it is one thing, but it's also about confidence. And everyone's had a moment where you didn't feel as confident as you should be about whatever it is you might be doing. It might take you a minute to get there. And because even the most talented people have talked about being nervous or feeling like they weren't like ready for the big thing they had to do. So like it happens to everybody, any point in time, like dealing with confidence issues. But it's okay because all imposters aren't created equal. So even if you might be some little low-level imposter, like Naji said, maybe like a little slight one, maybe there might be a little bit of you in one of these 5 imposters that we're going to discuss. If this is you, we got some little things we can give you to kind of help you get over your shit and be the star that you are. Okay, girl, shine or my nigga, whatever, my guy, my dude.
I was like, wow, that's
before we get started with that, I did some research besides the material that you sent over.
Excellent.
A little research.
And I noticed that. When I was looking up imposter syndrome, a lot of times people who are affected by imposter syndrome are people who are in marginalized communities.
Yes.
So whether you are the only woman in an all male environment, or the only person of color in a predominantly Caucasian environment, or maybe LGBTQ, and you're out, you're proud or whatever in that kind of environment, or you're the only man in a woman dominated workforce,
Like Schmidt.
like Schmidt. Yes. Okay, shout out to New Girl. It's like that's when that imposter syndrome hits. Like, am I supposed to be here? Like, is this the fuck I got going?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be doing this?
Yeah.
But not to take away.
No. That's why when my boss, who is a black woman, that's when she mentioned it to me. Like, that struck me that she said that to me. She's like, don't feel like that about yourself. You have, like, this is why you're here. Like, this is one of the reasons that we kept you here. This is why I'm telling you that you should. I wouldn't recommend you to do this if I didn't think you should be doing it. So you don't feel that way about it. I was like, you know what? Yes. And when I read that part of it, I was like, yes, that makes perfect sense.
I have felt that way before, but not at work.
So we'll see. It's out there. It happens in weird ways. Like, it's a confidence thing. It's not, the word imposter is like puts a label on it, but it's really, it's a lot more broader. More broad.
I was going to say, not the ER.
But is imposter just for? And I know we're going to get to what you listed out. But is imposter just for work, or can it be an imposter in like your relationship, or imposter in
your podcast,
your church, or your podcast, or something like that? Like, seriously?
No, yeah, it can. It's not just work related.
Yes.
Okay, it just resonated with me whenever you made that example. And I was thinking, I was like, oh shit, I felt that way, but not at work. Yes. But it's the same thing.
Yes.
Okay,
it's in any scenario where you found yourself in it, and maybe you earned your spot there fully, like you were either chosen to be there, or you worked your way there. But due to whatever's around you, you start to feel like, oh God, like maybe I'm in the wrong place for just a second here.
Okay, well then that's the case, then yes, I have felt like an imposter too.
Like the treadmill.
Yes.
Why did I get here?
Got you. Yes.
I'm dying.
That's it.
Yes, I'm not supposed to be here. Nobody is
Someone's supposed to be here. How did you get here?
So there are 5. We read an article about these imposters, and we can. We're not. This is not APA. We're not citing the shit, but it's an article that we read by a doctor of some sort. She has a PhD, which some people don't believe that's a real thing, but it is. She is a doctor. Don't y'all act like that.
What?
Who was it that said that Jill Biden wasn't a real doctor?
That man was it the Washington Post?
Washington Post or something. Or
New
York Post? I don't know.
No, it was
Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal. Yes, the big one. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you,
like,
sir?
Need to be referred to as First Lady or Mrs. Biden.
Yes.
Jill's not a doctor.
Anyway, the 5 imposter types. They're not all created equal. They're all very different. And I'm pretty sure you guys out there listening, you know who you are. The perfectionist, the Superman/Superwoman, the natural genius, the soloist, not to be confused with the movie with Jamie Foxx, and the expert.
Oh, it's pianist.
It is pianist.
It's the pianist?
No, it was called the soloist, but like, I thought you wanted the word. The word is pianist, not the pianist.
He was
the soloist.
Oh, the soloist. Yes. Okay,
but he has the teeth.
Yes.
But there was a song called there is a movie called The Pianist.
There's a movie called The Piano.
Sorry. Okay.
But there may be something called The Pianist.
This is why we don't do this. We're gonna slide right in here. So as you're listening, fellas, if you have any stories, if you start to see something, make the people feel comfortable. Let them know they're not alone. Because like I said, it's not about the word imposter. It's about what the general things around it. So starting out, we have the perfectionists. So perfectionism and imposter syndrome sometimes they go hand in hand. So think about it. Perfectionists, they typically set super high goals for themselves. And when they don't reach those goals, they get very down on themselves, very just upset, internalize a lot of that feeling like this is my fault, I did this, I'm a terrible person type thing. And even though these people don't realize it, they are kind of like control type people. They're the kind of people who like they ask you to do something and they say, never mind, I'll do it myself. These are those kind of people. But additionally, if you're not sure if this might be you as an imposter, have you ever been accused of being a micromanager? So you have to be involved in everything that's going on. Do you have difficulty delegating things? Everything has to be done by you. If it's not done by you, it's not done correctly. When you miss your mark, on whatever goal that you set. Typically, it's probably something that's unrealistic, to be completely honest. When you miss the goal, do you feel like you're not cut out for what you're doing and you just got to stick on that? Like, maybe I should not have done this thing that I set out to do. Or do you feel like your work has to be 100% perfect 100% of the time? That is the perfectionist imposter. So that person is someone who is capable. They do things well, but no matter what they do, they feel like it's not enough. Those are perfectionist people. Do we know those people? Are you those people? No?
Unfortunately, I am.
Oh.
And as you continue to go down that list, I was like, shit.
Let's do it like AA.
And this bad. How does AA go? I've never been.
I'm
been
Naji, and I'm a perfectionist.
Oh, hi everybody.
Hey Naji.
My name. No, sorry. Hi everybody. I'm Naji.
Hi Naji.
And I'm a perfectionist.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's really hard. Shout out to anybody who's actually going through AA. It's just a perfect way to approach it.
Also really hard.
Yeah. But everything you described is me. I have trouble delegating. I have trouble letting people do for me. It's a matter of I ask you to do something, but I'm already planning on how I'm gonna have to do it myself. And it doesn't matter who it is. It's just me, and it's annoying, and it's frustrating, and it's heavy.
Do you recognize that when you're in the moment where you're like, or does that realization come in after the fact?
That realization comes when I am doing nothing that would be in my control at all. So it's like after the fact.
Okay.
One of the things that came to mind for me is like, you heard of like SMART goals? You've seen those? Something that is when you set a goal, it needs to be strategic, measurable.
Action.
What is the A? Strategic, measurable. The R is realistic. The T is timely. I forget what the A is. But whatever it is, it's...
is it actionable?
No, because that's the measurable part. Like, how do you measure it? Damn it. It's whoever was listening to me that knows me
Accountable?
and works with
what
me
is it?
would be like, what the fuck?
Actuary?
Nicole. Not actuary.
There's that.
Yeah, you can look that up. But like what it is, like for people like this, make your goals very specific. Like make sure that whatever you're shooting for, make it realistic. Like have an honest conversation with yourself. Like what am I choosing to do?
Attainable.
There you go. Make sure that it's attainable, and not with any caveats in the attainable. Like not it's attainable if I do 100 fucking things that I have no business doing. No, is it realistically attainable for you? And if it's not, that's okay. Choose something else or adapt and ask for some help. Because a lot of times you guys, not you guys, people who are
who are
these imposters.
You're talking to me.
You have a hard time giving someone a task and then walking away and letting them do the job that they are more qualified to do, or whatever scenario that you're in. Let them do that. Set realistic goals for yourself and be honest about what you want and what the resources that are available to you versus giving yourself these unrealistic expectations, because it's maddening. That's how you get caught in this cycle of I'm not good enough. And then it's annoying to watch. Also, people who are perfectionists, they're typically alone, like they're usually by themselves because no one wants to work with that. Like thanks. I can't deal with this. Like I'm trying to help you, but you won't let me help you, kind of thing. Like I work with people like that. They want to do their own thing without letting someone else help them. Like, bro, I can help if you want me to help. Okay, cool, never mind. All right. Thoughts? You're thinking. Your head is moving.
I have nothing to say about being a perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist at all. I would like to think, and I could be wrong, I'm not a doctor or anything.
You are a doctor, actually.
Well, I'm not a doctor.
A juris doctor.
I'm not a doctor of that.
Esquire means so much.
I would like to think that if
oh God,
people who've been a perfectionist, I would like to think that there's been some point where somewhere along the line somebody has failed them when they asked them to do something for whatever reason, something when you needed them to really do something. I don't believe that you just was like, I got to do this myself. I got to do it. I think something happened to where you put your trust in somebody to do something and you realize can't nobody look out for me except for me. Can't nobody get it done the way that I want to get it done except for me. And it's like that's something that you've carried with you throughout your whole entire career, whether it's in relationships or whether it's in work or whether it's even with raising kids or something like that, or even looking after your kids. Something has happened to where you were like, I can't trust this people to do this.
Well, that and you don't know what everybody else knows. You know what you know. So like, you know that I know about these things and I can fix this with this knowledge that I have, versus putting the trust in someone who you don't know. Like, you know generally what they might be available to do, but not really.
And I think even on top of that, like going to your point, Esquire, about someone failing you at some point, like I think that is spot on, because I feel like that's what happened to me. Where I put my trust into a particular person for years, hoping that something was going to happen, and it never did. And so after a while, you just realize, well, fuck. I mean, and also the seeds are sown from the very beginning. And let's not also play that there's not a lot of nurture pieces in this as well, because if you happen to have a parent that's a perfectionist, it flows right into you very easily.
That part too.
You're probably going to be on the other end of the spectrum, because you're like, I can't deal with this shit. This was too much to deal with growing up. No. And I think that I got mine twofolds. Definitely parentally nurtured into this from two different sides, two different ways from two different sides.
And I think just on the other side of that point is, I think we have to have a point where we have a short-term memory when it comes to certain situations that we come up against. So if you're entering into that new relationship and you're a perfectionist in certain different things, you can't measure the same people on the same barometer that you did that last relationship. Same thing with your jobs.
Oh, yeah.
If your management team or the team that you were managing was incompetent, you cannot bring that same attitude to the new team that you go into. You have to give people a chance to either they show themselves approved or not. But you have to be willing to let go of some of that control, let them do what they got to do. And that might be a teachable moment. It might be a moment to say, hey, you know what? You're doing it wrong, but I realize there are some aspects of it that I like. Let me guide you to where you need to get to, and this is the part that I like, and go from there. Or this is something I can trust that you can do, and go from there.
So it also helps to share the load, because if you share it, then what happens is, if it does go wrong, it's actually not entirely your fault. Which, I mean, we don't want to play. It's not about placing blame, but it's about realizing that if something does go awry, you're not entirely responsible for it. Versus if you do it all yourself, then that makes it worse for you. And the point of all of this is to be a better you.
Yes.
And if you can be a better you by delegating and letting people do their jobs also to help, then that means we share the blame and the trophy.
See, I think that for me, I find myself more in a perfectionist role when it comes outside of work. Because when I'm in work, I'm all about collaboration, teamwork. Now, don't get me wrong. If you assign me to do something, I'm going to do that shit. And I'm going to do it well to the best of my ability. But if I feel as though I don't have the tools to do it to the standard that I would hold myself to, I'm going to go out and seek outside resources. And that's just how I want to do it. And I don't have any problem with asking somebody. I still be hitting up my old teammates that I worked with like 6-7 years ago, being like, hey, I know that you and I have worked through a lot of different problems together. This is the problem that I'm having. Do you mind brainstorming with me? And everyone's like, yeah, we're down with that. But when it comes to things that, like individual things, is where I have the issue of where you're not really there to share the load. Like it's on you. Like you got to do it, but you also have to do it and give yourself attainable goals
and grace.
Big grace.
And
Very
grace.
important.
Big grace. That's
Capital G.
Yeah, all of them shits is
And
capital.
grace. Yeah.
And I think that's actually something that I struggle with the most, is giving myself grace. I give it to everybody else. Like anybody else can get grace from me. I'd be like, I understand what you're doing, but I got to give it to me.
Yes.
Because y'all had that same conversation with me when we had a powwow about something some time back, about the whole, like, sometimes your friends got to tell you, like, nigga, you deserve to do things that you want to do. You deserve to be in the places that you are. Like, it's okay. You don't have to bear the brunt of something that doesn't even exist.
Right.
You know what it sounds like? You also, with and maybe not so much perfectionist, but probably you might be the Superman. The Superman imposter might be you.
So you said I'm a super imposter.
So the super
Straight
imposters,
from Krypton. Straight from Krypton.
the
I got
super
a big ass
imposters.
eye on my chest.
Yes, with it's a Roman numeral I, special I. The super imposters are convinced that they are phonies amongst real colleagues or other people. They often push themselves to work harder and harder in order to measure up to those around them. But this is just a false cover-up for their insecurities, and the work overload might harm their own mental health, but also relations with others.
That's nowhere close to me. I don't give a fuck what you do. My shit gonna be better.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
All right,
I'm not sure if this applies to you.
It's not you. It's not you.
Just saying.
It's not you.
So the super imposters, they tend to stay later at the office or do more work than other people.
That's definitely
Even past the point that they've completed all the necessary things, they want to do extra things at all times. You get stressed when you're not working, and you find that downtime is wasteful, and you're not being productive, and that's not okay with you. Or have you let hobbies and passions fall to the wayside just to sacrifice and do work instead? Or do you feel like you haven't truly earned whatever title or achievements that you have, and you feel pressed to work harder and harder to prove that you are worth whatever you've been given?
That's not me, first off. But since coming
set the record straight.
For the record. But since coming into corporate America, I've come across different people, and I've noticed different ones will push themselves to the max when it comes to work, and not necessarily just push themselves to make sure it gets done, but pushing themselves like well past beyond what it's supposed to be. And it's like you're always on the front line doing something. And there's a difference between trying to get the recognition or trying to go over and beyond for the team, but it's just like you are doing way too much.
You're doing the most.
And when I mean doing the most, like Naji said, taking days off, using their PTO days and working on their PTO days so that they can say, I don't want to be bothered because I got to get this done. You're using paid time off to work because you don't want to set your little communicator or something that say do not disturb or busy because you're always handling everybody else's problem, but you want to do your own stuff. Like I've seen people like that.
Well, and they're
That's
doing
disgusting.
this because these are the workaholics, right? They're workaholics, but plot twist, they're not actually addicted to the work. They're addicted to the validation that comes from it. Because if I work on my PTO, somewhere the way corporate America is set up, someone is applauding them, and that's why they do it. Like it's
not paying them, but applauding them.
But they are paying them because it's paid time off.
Well, not giving them what they're worth.
Oh yeah.
Right, like that's extra shit. Exactly.
But going forward.
But those are the people, like they're getting their validation externally versus internally. So that's why they continue to do what they're doing. So that's the Superman, Superwoman people. You have to learn to turn that shit inward and get your validation elsewhere. If you're looking for other people to give it to you, there's always going to be somebody that's going to ask you for something else. Was like pole vaulting. Like, oh, you can jump it, move it up. Oh, you reached it, move it up.
Another one.
So exactly.
So like limbo, move it down.
Exactly.
But it's on the floor.
Move it down.
Take your ass to the quantum realm, right, and slide underneath.
Take that elevator, and I want you right there in between the sheetrocks. Okay, thank you so much.
Can you get the hell?
The bad place.
Can you get the hell?
But like that. That's who those people are. So you have to figure out how you can get that internal validation. Like, what did you? I tell people that I work with all the time when they're having similar issues to this. I'm like, what did you come here for? And like, what? I mean, you're here at this job. Why are you doing this? Well, I mean, I had to get, I was...
Gotta pay some bills.
No. Yeah, we're all paying bills. It's part of life. What are you here for? When you decided to choose this role, this company, why did you come here? Because when you're motivated by external things, all you're going to do is run after either the wrong things or run entirely too hard. That's that working hard, not smart thing. Like, and you can't afford to do that.
I remember somebody actually asked me when I started working in the bank. Someone asked me at the training when I was like, why did you decide to work here? And I was like, y'all the first ones that call me back. Like, and I said that.
That's real.
I smooth said it in front of everybody. I meant it. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not here because I feel a purpose behind the stance of this corporation. No, nigga, I am poor, okay? Right. And I'm delivering pizza and I hate it, okay? I need a fucking job and y'all having health insurance.
Well, that is different.
And that was really how I felt.
Yes.
So when someone were to ask me that, someone asked me that question today, like when I come into a corporate gig and it's very, very different, I have a completely different mindset about it versus I'm just here because I needed something.
There's levels to this shit.
It is.
As they say.
I'm on a new level.
I'm trying to find a new level.
But I think for these people, it's important for them to be honest about their skill sets. Be honest about the things that you have learned, the stuff that you're bringing to the table. And hone those things. And once you start to focus on those, then it'll be a lot easier for you to kind of let up a little bit. Like instead of trying to, go and wait for someone to give you all this praise, do the thing that they put you here for. You're in this place. Someone said, you know what? Coley, people always tell me, like, if you write well, you communicate things well, then that's the thing I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on that thing because that's what I'm told that I can do. The other stuff, I'll work on it. I'll get better on it if I need to be. But what I'm going to do is stay in my lane and do the thing that I know that I'm very, very capable of doing and grow those other things on the outside as I have time to do them.
Okay.
Versus going, trying to do everything. No, I'm going to do the thing I was asked to do to the best of my ability, better than anybody else. These other things, I will acquire them as I need them. But if I don't need them, I'm not going to deal with that.
So I laugh because, one, I'm a child, and two, this just reminds me of one of the other episodes we were talking about when we kept saying that Coley was sucking dick from the back. And it's like, that's what she's good at.
Wow.
That's what she does.
Right.
She does not stray from it.
She doesn't.
She makes sure she does it. So if he's in the wheelchair, he just going to have to poke a hole in the bottom because...
And he got to love Christ.
Without question, and eat the pussy.
Right, that too.
I don't like you just diminish this wonderful thing that I said to be sucking dick from the back.
I'm not diminishing it at all. I completely agree with you, but I just think it was funny because that's where I am. I'm a child. I accept it.
Sucking dick from the back, being in a wheelchair with a hole in the bottom of it, and he loves Christ. Coley, you are not an imposter. You didn't know that. You're not an imposter. Sorry.
I'm so glad that I'm not an imposter.
Yeah, you're not.
Those are the supermen and the superwomen. Number 3 is Rizzo. But also the natural genius. And I would go ahead and say I am partially this person as I read up. So these people believe that they need to be a natural at things. So they judge their competence based on their speed as opposed to their efforts. So if they take a long time to do something or master it, they feel shame and unworthy. So, not sure if this is you. Are you used to excelling without much effort? Do you have a track record of in school like getting straight A's or gold stars, being the teacher's pet? Were you told frequently as a child that you were the smart one in your family or peer group? Do you dislike the thought of having a mentor because you think you can handle everything on your own? When faced with a setback, does your confidence tumble because you're not performing well and it brings you shame? Or do you often avoid challenges because it's uncomfortable to try something you're not great at?
The idea of being called the smart one in the family is so common, but it's also so degrading on everybody else. Like when you said it out loud, I was like, damn, I've never heard that said out loud. You heard someone say it or whatever.
Right.
It's like, damn, so what do you think about my cousin? Like, they dumb? As a bag of rocks. She's a fucking idiot.
And that pressure turns you into this person.
It does.
It's terrible.
It
It's
does.
so terrible.
And usually when the family is telling, well, my kid do X, Y, and Z, or they do A, B, and C, they're not usually as good as whatever the family member or someone is saying that they are good at.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Parents are going to have a biased input about their child.
Absolutely.
And all this kind of stuff. But I never felt that way only because I knew there was always so much that I needed to learn and grow and go with that I could never sit up here and say, well, it always came easy to me. Like, it never always came easy to me. I always had to fight for something. But if you're an imposter, I can see how if you're used to being in a position where you have straight A's, like you said, or always doing whatever, something always just clicks for you where it works, and then you get to a position in life where it doesn't click or work. What's a good example? You were the star athlete on your fucking football team. You get to college and you realize you're just as good as everybody else around the country, or not even as good.
Yeah.
Then I can understand how that would be a situation where you're just like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's how I felt when I first went to statistics. Like, I was the math guy who everyone would come to for whatever math problems. Like, I was that nigga in math, and it was great, and I loved it. But I took one stat class, and I was like, what the fuck? This is just different. And then, because I don't have to try, I never had to try a math.
Right.
It just came to me, and I was just like, this is unfortunate, but it's just easy to me. But stat was not it at all. And I really beat myself up about it. I just stopped going to class.
Shit.
Yeah, well, this was,
Yeah,
you remember that time.
Former.
That year. Old
time.
me.
Gotcha.
Old me. I have come a long way.
Gotcha.
Well, 'cause it's easy. Like, and I think it's even. This is one of those where it comes even outside of work for me, because with work, I do, like I said, I stick to what I know that I'm good at, and I will adopt new habits as I need them. If I need to be agile, then I will be. But some other times, if I can't pick up a new type of anything. We were talking about working out earlier. Like, I've been trying to start running for years, And I always stop at certain point because I can't seem to like get into whatever groove that other people find. I can't do it, can't figure it out. And I'm just like, I don't know how they're doing this. Or even with my hair. So I was talking to Esquire about my hair when he got here. I'm not one of those. I'm here. Hi, my name is Nicole. I'm a black woman, and I cannot do my hair.
Nicole.
Thank you. Hi, guys. I cannot do my hair. Shout out to the wonderful women in my life who helped me. But like even stuff like that, like I'm getting my hair done tomorrow because I'm sick of fucking dealing with it. I'm just done.
Same, sis.
I'll spend all the money on it if I don't have to do it. But it's just one of those things. Like I feel like I was that person. I did get straight A's. I was always doing everything. Whatever the goal was, I was jumping over it. So when I encounter something and I can't, I dead ass feel like, what the fuck is this? And I work at it a little bit, but if I can't get it, then I will legit just swear it off. You see, I'm not going to class no more. So like whatever the equivalent to that is, like that's me. I just won't do that. And the point is, like, you should not have to feel that way about it. There's no need to swear off a behavior just because you can't get it right away. If you're working and you're not say you're not that great at public speaking, that's a skill. It can be learned. Now, some people are natural. Some people can just naturally get up in front and talk to people, but it can be learned. They have classes on it. There's things you can do to get yourself more prepared and like ready for those types of things. You can work on your presentation skills, and you can work your way into that, so you don't always have to not speak up. You know, you can find your way out of that problem, but not you don't have to do it all at once.
Hearing you talk through this reminds me, and reminding, and also thinking about your point earlier, Esquire, about just something happened to you to kind of mold you in this way. It reminds me a lot of what happens with parenting, because your parents genuinely dictate the person that you become to a degree. Like they mold. Again, assuming your parents are involved in whatever. But they mold your foundation, and your foundation is kind of how things branch off from there, right? So when you made the comment of like being the natural genius, like you probably were the kid who no one had to worry about you when it came to school because you did everything right. But then there was that one time where you didn't do something perfectly and your parents are confused, probably like, wait, what happened? And that sticks with you like moving forward. And you find yourself as an adult criticizing yourself, but it's not something that you have genuinely grown to feel about yourself. It's something that was someone else's voice in your head, that self-critic. That's what we were talking about earlier when I was telling you about my workout situation off mic. And I was just like, you know, the critic that is inside, and I know where it comes from. Like it's not about that particular situation, but it's how the critic is molded. I think genuinely comes a lot from your rearing. And it's just funny how all of these things come out. And when you're in your 30s, you start realizing shit. You're like, God damn, like, I got to work through this too. I thought I worked through it all. But no, there's some more.
But wait.
There's always more.
Exactly.
More.
There's
things
always more.
With what you said. Number one, shout out to a listener and former coworker of mine, Makita Pennicut. You have to name
the whole name.
Well, she loves us.
Makita Gillicuddy.
We hope to see you soon.
Lucy McGillicuddy.
We hope to see you very soon. She's a professional out here in the world doing cool things. You have to name that voice. Name your critic. I heard her say this. Name this person and tell that whoever that guy is. Give him a name. If you can name it, you can get rid of him. You can't. Somebody you don't know, you can't just get rid of him and put him out of your place. If I know your fucking name, get the fuck out of here. Joe, get out of here. Whoever you are. Number two.
That's actually really good. I've never thought about it like that. I've heard talk to your anxiety, but I've never heard name your critic.
Name that critic and talk shit to that critic until they're out of here.
Or the downfall, whatever that is, i.e. Mark.
Whatever the fuck. It's right. And I actually forgot what my second thing was, but that when you were saying that.
Wow. Mark just
and I hate that. I hate that so much because I thought it was important. No. There it is.
You found it.
With the challenges, like when you fail at something, when you don't do as well as you thought, I would definitely, I'm trying to get out of that more, but I will shy away from not necessarily a challenge, but something that seems out of my reach. I will shy away from it because I'm like, I don't want that to go poorly. But I'm learning as, you know, being in corporate America, like I can't do that because people are out here just people are wild, wild west in the corporate America. And I'm learning that I don't need to be that way. I don't have to be good at it, apparently. Hell, we watched somebody do a job that is very, very important for 4 years and do it poorly, and nobody seemed to care. So,
no, they cared at the end when it came time his performance review.
4 years later,
But half the company,
but just having to learn, I don't have to be good at all of it. You don't have. No one's good at everything, so it's okay that I don't have all the answers. I can just throw something out there. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But keep doing that because everyone else is.
We are really creatures of habit.
Yes.
And things like being just a natural genius and just that shit sticks with you. And then you start beating your damn self up about not knowing everything. Well, I should have known this. How, nigga? It's literal rocket science. How are you supposed to know how NASA's going to get that thing to Jupiter and one of their moons? You ain't supposed to know.
Yes.
But I think that, again, like you said, Naji, that goes back to your upbringing and it goes to what your foundation is. Because like you both are talking about circumstances. I cannot any of this imposter stuff really, like I'm trying to make it stress and make it feel like I can be an imposter, but it's like
you don't have to identify.
I can't.
My thing for imposter, I'm not an imposter. It's my journey or my self-doubt or my feeling like it's not going to be whatever it is, what happens before you get to the goal and go from there. Like, so I think it's, I don't know what else to say to that.
Well, no, you are the, we have our notes here for how to get yourself out of that. You are that person. You're the person that does all these other things. Like you remind yourself when you get to a certain point. Yes, because I did this, this, and this. That's why I'm here. But so you have that in your head already. Like when you're at a place.
You're the friend that pulls everybody else from their depths of despair. Like, hey, you ever thought about it this way? Like you are literally the walking optimist who's also a realist. So it's not like you just walk around here acting like, everything is butterflies and rainbows and shit. No, the shit sucks. But like, have you thought about it this way? What about this? What about that? Versus just beating yourself. It's like, there's no point in beating yourself up the whole time. Like, let's just
you operate in the realm of possibilities.
Yeah.
Versus the rest of us seem to be pretty matter of fact. So you operate in a space where all the things that we need to do to be better at the things that we're having issues with, you operate in that space already.
So it's hard to be an imposter when you operate in the real all the time.
Okay, I got you. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank y'all so much. What is a soloist?
A movie that Jamie Foxx was in.
That Jamie Foxx was in.
We talked about this already.
Them blindfold with them teeth.
Soloists, these people are sufferers who feel as though asking for help reveals their phoniness, and it's unfortunate for them. But also, you refuse assistance so that you can prove your worth in a scenario. So, if this is you typically firmly feel that you need to accomplish things on your own. I don't need anyone's help. I can do this by myself. Or you frame requests in terms of requirements of the project rather than your needs as a person. So this task requires this versus I'm having trouble understanding this, so could you please help me, yada, yada, yada.
Because I dare not let you know that I'm having trouble understanding something.
Correct.
The project needs this, and you're going to do it, right, Jim?
Yes. And I think for me...
Can you do X, Y, and Z? Isn't that your job? Huh?
When I was reading this, the first thing I thought was like, people tend to think that asking for help makes you seem incompetent. And it's like, it's not.
It does not.
Asking for help makes you collaborative, it makes you inclusive, it makes you resourceful because it lets other people know that the soloist and the perfectionists are almost similar to each other because the soloist is the person that needs to realize that you have 5 people on your team and they are all qualified to do something different. And I learned that working in the space that I work now. I work cross functionally like a motherfucker. Like, who is this? Well, I've typed some independent. Who said that they had the what you call it? Oh, that was so and so. Great. Message them. Get on Teams real quick. Hey, I'm working on this. I need your help with this because I was told by whoever that you could help me with that. Oh yeah, I got you. No problem. And that doesn't mean that I can't do my whole ass project that I'm working on. That means that part right there is not for me, and that's okay. But I'd be a fool to try to do a whole thing by myself if it requires more arms. I only got 2. And if I need 10 arms, I got to find those other 8 arms.
And also, people like to be needed.
Yes.
Yep.
So you will be surprised where I ran into a situation on one of my other jobs where I wanted to ask somebody for help. But somebody on my team was like, do not ask them for help. don't bother them. Do not bother them. You don't need to bother them. You don't need to bother them, whatever. And I bothered them anyway. And coming to find out, they really wanted to talk to me and let me know everything that they knew about whatever that problem was that I was dealing with.
Yeah.
And it's like, more times out of not, people are willing to help. People are willing to express about the knowledge that they have and impart to you. And at the same time, that gives them free range to come to you and ask you about things that they have questions on.
That collaborative kind of situation.
Exactly.
But a lot of people are afraid to ask for help. Not even, and I think this may be like a side shoot from the imposter piece, but you don't want somebody to hold something over your head. Oh, you came and asked me for X, Y, and Z. So not only do you not know what it is, like you now owe me something, or like I can be like, oh, remember that time I helped you? You ain't gonna help me. It's like, no, you're trying to rob the place.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Rob the place.
You've got a gun.
Can't do it.
But you know what?
I met him yesterday.
If it comes to something where they hold it over your head, if you're at work. When I talked to that person and told me don't ask any questions, I said, well, we're all one company, right? So that means we should be able to help each
band,
other. One sound. Exactly. We should be able to help each other. There is no holding each other anything over anybody's head. It's we have a mission that we have to get through. The company will fail. It may not, or maybe it will, whatever, depending on what I'm doing. Either way it goes, we're not going to move forward unless we're all doing our part.
Yeah.
Now, if it's somebody like in your personal life and they're trying to hold stuff over your head or whatever, then you have to be like, is that the person I'm really trying to get help from? Because they're not doing it just to literally help me out. They're doing it literally to get something from me.
Yes.
And go from there. So that's the difference.
And that's another episode. Tight circle, no squares. We're not dealing with that.
Squares a bunch of circles.
You got people that's around you.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna do nothing but doubt you.
Hell yeah.
Keep them squares about your circle. They can go work through.
Hell yeah.
I know it's gonna get worse.
Yes.
He really said worser and meant it.
I hate it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It can only work out to your benefit.
Are you a soloist, Coley?
Oh no.
Coley?
Coley? Coley, are you a soloist?
No, I think in my former job I might have been, because
I was a soloist in my former life.
I might have been in that specific scenario. I would have been, because it was people there. It was kind of like Naji was saying with the holding things over your head, or I'm always coming to you for something else. But when I moved into a space that made fucking sense, where I am now,
fucking sense.
When I moved into the real world, no, it makes, like, I'm working on, you guys, I'm working on this project at work where I'm trying to get this program off the ground, and I had the idea and I have a lot of things that I'm doing with it, but I cannot make it go on its own. I can't do that. And I know that. So I'm always meeting with people who can help me with the parts that I cannot do myself. Because otherwise this program, 1, won't get started. 2, it won't be as effective if it does get started. And I can't have that. I can't put my name on something like that. So I have no problems asking those who are better than I am at the thing that I need.
Does that make you an expert?
Does it make me an expert? No, I'm not an expert either.
Okay, so what's an expert?
An expert, though, they're the people who base their competence on what and how much they know or what they can do, believing that they will never know enough, so they fear being exposed as inexperienced or knowledgeable. So these are the people that are filled with copious amounts of random knowledge. They know everything. They know, what is it, masters of none?
Jack of all trades,
masters of none. Do you shy away from applying to job postings unless you meet every single requirement? Are you constantly seeking out training and certifications because you think you need to improve your skills in order to succeed? Even if you've been in your role or whatever place you're at, can you relate to feeling like you still don't know enough? Or do you shudder when someone actually calls you an expert? These are those people. So,
SMEs.
Yes, subject matter experts. Oh, Shmee. I don't want to be an expert at work. Like, I genuinely don't. Like, I think I want to be good at things, and I'm the kind of guy who's like, I want to do just enough work to be dangerous. But I don't ever want you to think that I'm about to go over the top and above and beyond.
Yes.
Like, I'm cool with mediocrity at work. Like, I'm cool with being the best mediocre nigga you got at work, and we're gonna go from there. But I will know how to talk to you. I'll be an expert at conversation.
Well, no, I think it's okay. I think using the word mediocrity is maybe the right. Well, you said, but I don't want to take words out of your mouth.
You can have them.
I don't want to say that, like, take your statement, but, like, I think more so sticking with what you know, yes, like standing firm what you do know.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. And then picking up things as you need to. If you're like, my role changed last summer, we started doing something different. So I was like, okay, well, shit, that's what we're doing now. So I had to, excuse me, I got my shot, I swear. I had to.
We know what kind of shot you got, too. That's the problem. Right.
It's like stuff right here.
Blood clot.
Mama clot. Yes, my job switched last summer. And I had to figure out, okay, how am I going to adapt in this space? So rather than, even before then, stressing myself out with all types of getting more shit, going back to school or getting more certifications, I was like, no, I'm just going to figure out how I can operate in this space. What do I need? What resources do I need? Who can I call that can help me figure out what I should do next?
Probably Ghostbusters.
Probably them or other people, possibly too. But instead of like always going and trying to get more shit, there's no need to do that. Just figure out what you need as you need it.
Yeah.
There was someone I spoke to a couple years back. I was like, do you think I need to get some certifications in some certain things? And she was like, don't you have a master's? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, no, don't do that. And I was like, well, when I'm looking at these applications, I said, no, honey, no, you have a master's degree in this. You have this, and this. Work those things. Reframe those things for everybody that you talk to make it make sense for them. Like, that was one of the most valuable conversations I've ever had with someone who's like, I don't have to like know all of these things. And it's taken me a long time to learn, but I know that shit now. Like, I don't have to know everything. I need to know a little bit about this as I need to know it. And then I can dive in there and get the rest of it done as I need to.
But if you think about it, like, look at master's programs. Most masters, or even hell, doctorate programs, like, to a degree, have a lot of different things. Like, when you look at like the JD, right? You had like a lot of different classes. They all comprised the law, like so it's like all under the legal umbrella. But like there's business law, there's case law, there's torts. There's a lot of different things. You don't have to necessarily be an expert on all of the things at one time, right?
Right. The purpose of it is getting your JD is you have studied enough, passed enough tests to get your Juris Doctorate, and then when it comes to your law license, you have studied the material enough to pass it, and then you decide what specialty you want to go into. So, yeah, you're right.
It's more you got to have like a working knowledge of certain things, or at least the ability to go back and learn it when you go back to it. Like I tell when I look at things all the time, like what I do, when people are talking about, can you do X, Y, and Z? It's like, no, but I do have the tools to learn it. Like I know how to learn it when it's time for me to learn it, but I don't necessarily need to be the expert on this particular thing.
And that's the same thing too for like on my current job. Like I will, and I don't know if I fall into that category, but I will let them know if somebody refers to me, like my manager, she's like, well, Esquire is, he's an attorney, and stuff we look at is like contracts and stuff. So if you have any questions about contracts, reach out to him. And it's like, I own that because I do have experience in contracts. But what I also say is, hey, look, I am not the mastermind behind this kind of stuff. This is what I look for when I do different things. And if it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, there are people that we can reach out to if you need more information and go from there.
Yes.
So, that's a way to finagle out of feeling like you have to be an expert in everything where you're like on the spot. It's like, you know what? I know what I know. But if they require something else, I will work with you to get other answers if I don't know it and be okay with that.
And if there was nothing I learned from my previous job is that having SME, we joked about SMEs earlier, but subject matter experts are important. Like it's necessary because like it feels good to managers or people in people leadership when they can go to someone. So if you can be the guy or the girl for this particular thing, that's good for you, boo. Like you don't need to have all of the subject matters in your head. Like you don't have to have that. Like you don't have to be a dog whisperer if you're not really one. It's not a thing.
That's true.
It's okay that you don't have all the answers, and that's I think we probably we probably all suffer from it at some point. Then it's fine. You know the answers that you know, and the ones you don't know, you can ask somebody else.
You don't know.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people who have and again back to parenting, who have the parents that are just like on their ass for everything that they do, and it get to the point where they're like, well, I'm supposed to just know everything, and it's like, well, it's not realistic. And when you get out here into the workforce or even into a relationship, because I know that for me, for a long time, when it came to relationships, I felt like I was supposed to know everything that I was supposed to know about this person from the very beginning. And it's like, that's not possible. And you can't know everything about a person, especially because they don't know everything about themselves.
Impossible.
Remaining curious is what at the core of all is. That's something that I keep thinking and hearing. I hear my old boss saying like remaining curious is so important. And as long as you do that, you're like grow the journey that we're on is we're ever evolving. We're always learning. And if you remain curious versus trying to always answer the questions, like look for more. It's okay. And if you can't find them, that's fine too. But as you find them, lock it away if you need it. If you don't need it, toss it and move on to something different. I think that's super, super important versus like laser focusing in on like, oh, I got to do this thing and then I got to do that and I got to do that. And oh shit, they asked me about that. I don't fucking know. Okay, now I'm an imposter. I don't belong here. So now I need to quit my job and run away and do something different because I didn't know this one thing. No, bro, that's not your job. That's not what they brought you here. That's okay. I think that the big lesson that we can learn from whether we're imposters or not is embrace your capabilities.
Imposter.
Own your shit. Whatever your shit is. Figure out what you can do. Whatever you have to do to remind yourself that you are who you are. And whatever you have, what you brought to the table, it is for you. And remind yourself of that. Like, don't let anybody tell you don't have it. Don't let anyone tell you can't do it. I think those are the things that can help you in insecurity and uncertainty.
And uncertainty, too.
A great poet once said, what God has for me, it is for me.
How do you feel about like losing a friend tonight?
I will never lose a friend. It's all be in my heart.
In my heart.
Goodness gracious.
And in my mind.
Pod
in
World.
My mind.
We have discussed
imposter
syndrome. I have an imposter in my house.
There's an imposter in my house.
This has been imposter syndrome. I hope that it was kind of like helpful for you guys out there in the world. Check it out.
And likely, guys, you're likely not imposing. Like you're likely not one of these niggas.
Yes.
And I'm talking to myself.
Yes. You are not you're not an imposter. You might do these things, but you are not an imposter. That's why we said embrace your capabilities, own your shit.
Yes.
If you are this, then be that.
What is it when you feel like you're sick but all the time but you're not? Was it mitochondriac? Hypochondriac.
Yes.
What is mitochondriac? What is the mitochondriac?
I was like mitochondriac.
I know what it is. I just said it. I'm asking what is a mitochondria?
That's in the cells in our body.
Mitochondria?
Mitochondriac.
Yes.
Well, so what's the act?
It's not
even a real thing, is it? The mitochondria?
It's mitochondria. Okay. Yes. Anyway.
Either it goes. We'll be right back with
this was this shit right here. Golly.
It's your FUBU moment. FUBU moment. It's your FUBU moment.
FUBU.
It's our FUBU moment. I love our stylistic stylings every time I hear it. Yes. Naji?
It's your.
So our FUBU moment is for none other than George Perry Floyd. Because of his vindication, the somewhat justice, the accountability, the guilty verdict that was received on his behalf for Derek Murder Chauvin. We love to see that. We are so happy about that. I'm happy about it, but people have all the things they have to say about it. But I'm very happy. I consider that a moment for us because that was one of the most high profile cases we've had, and for it to get the verdict that we all desperately needed to see. I was one of those people that was hopeful, but still like with one eye open, like fuck y'all about to do. So I'm very, very glad that worked out. Shout out to Ben Crump. The AG of Minnesota, I don't remember his name, and the whole legal team that was working with the state of Minnesota on George Floyd's behalf to stomp Derek Chauvin out and put him into the jail for however long they're going to tell us. In a couple weeks he'll be in there, but at least he's going. So shout out to that. That is a FUBU moment. And Black America.
Keith Ellison?
Is that him?
That's his name.
Okay, cool. Yes.
I wanted to make sure we gave him a name.
Yes, Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota. Shout out to all of you for working tirelessly over the last almost year to bring everything that need to be brought to light, and Black America and all of our allies for not giving up, because I think this could have easily been any of the other cases and it could have been swept under the rug or gone away, but this was not it. And that young lady, I think Danielle is her name, that recorded the initial video. Shout out to her for recording it and putting things out here in the world so that we would not miss it. And, that's really cool. And also shout out to Ahmaud Arbery and his may he rest. Those gentlemen have been charged with hate crimes.
Yes.
Saw that. That's really cool. Not for them, but for Ahmaud. May you rest, young king. We're finally getting somewhere with that as well. So I'm glad to hear that. Black America, that kind of thing. FUBU moment for us. And hopefully we continue to strive for even more. Let's continue to get them.
Darnella Frazier?
Darnella.
That's it. Yes.
There you go. What I say, Danielle?
Names. I don't know what you said.
I said Danielle. Darnella.
Shout out to Naji for working behind the scenes to get the names.
I think it's just important to make sure that we give people their appropriate titles.
No, it definitely
say
is.
Their names.
Absolutely.
So I heard a very interesting thing, not to belabor the point, about this particular case. And I was listening to
which case?
The Derek Chauvin case.
Go.
And I was listening to a sports podcast, and they were talking about how the visibility of this one, there was like between this one, Breonna Taylor, like all the different these things that have been happening since like the NBA specifically or whatever. Just right. This was a NBA podcast. They were talking about just how they were incessant when they were in the bubble about speaking on the injustices that were happening and things that were like going on to the point where the NBA postponed games this year, this just recently, whenever there was a shooting. Like no one had to come out and say anything about it. The NBA was like, nope, shut the shit down, because it's more important for the mental health of our players to understand that we are here for you, whatever that you need.
Absolutely.
As opposed to just saying you need to come to work. And
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Shout out to Adam Silver. Adam Silver has been my favorite. I've only seen 2 in my lifetime, commissioner of the NBA. David Stern was really cool. I thought he was great, but Adam Silver is just with the shits. Like he's all for. He's a Duke grad. Shout out to him.
That's the only thing he got right is Black Lives Matter. Anyway,
I hate that you just like diminished everything that I just said with that statement.
Oh,
I really hate that that's what you did. But either way, I love the fact that the NBA is taking such a large, like leading role in just what should happen. I'm thankful for it. Shout out to all the players who are doing whatever that they're doing. And the majority of them are black, so FUBU and whatnot. So I thought I would be remiss if I didn't shout out the National Basketball Association and their impacts in everything that has been going on here recently. That's
what's up.
I just my little tidbit on what you said about the FUBU moment. I saw a lot of people that said, well, George Floyd, not George Floyd, but Derek Chauvin being convicted doesn't mean anything. It doesn't change anything. It's not justice. It is justice for George Floyd and his family. And while it does not necessarily change the full racial, systemic racist environment that may inhabit the police department or other institutions, it's a building block in where we're trying to get to.
Everything starts with the first step.
It starts with the first step. And who knows, this may not necessarily been the first step. This may have been something that's been coming along afterwards, where it's just one more building block in a wall to where we're trying to get to, or a structure or a road. But we have to take the victories where we get our victories, and then we have to build upon them. Because ultimately, George Floyd and Derek Chauvin, this interaction, this murder that happened to George Floyd, Derek Chauvin has set another standard to where it's like, if we get you on camera, or we see you kneeling on someone, or we see you killing someone for 8 minutes, 9 minutes, that's not okay.
Yes.
That's not okay. There is no going back to what it was beforehand. That is a marker that's been set in the sand, and now we are responsible for moving that marker up until we get to the justice or the equality that we want going forward.
But I will say I completely agree, and I understand people who still feel like it's not enough. Because I don't think I genuinely don't think that it is.
Won't be. It's not enough.
But and they're like, this can't be the end. It's like, nope, it's not supposed to be the end. But it is heavy to think that someone literally has to die on camera.
Yes.
With a for not 8 minutes and 42 seconds or whatever it was in order for one person to be convicted.
Yes.
And so I do have empathy for people who feel like I can't even accept that. And it's like, well, we're going to take it. We're not going to send them back because of your lack of acceptance.
Right.
But, we need to understand that there's more to come from this.
Yes.
And we can't let up now.
I think what you said there, it reminded. I was talking to a friend of mine. Shout out to my stylist, Lauren Ashley. We were talking the other night. I think that what we have at this point is the one-up of being smarter than them, which is weird to think, but they're reckless. Derek Chauvin was reckless. We're watching you. We are prepared. I was watching the interview of the wife of Andrew Brown here in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and she was saying that in the video that she saw, she has seen the video that they will not let us see as a public. She said that his hands were on the vehicle initially. So he was prepared. The police are around. Like we are
steering wheel.
On the steering wheel.
Okay.
His hands are on the steering wheel. He is not trying to do anything to them because he's afraid. He needs to be smarter than that. So what we have on these cops is that we have the ability to outsmart them at this point. I'm not doing shit around no cops. And like most of these people now, like that young man, what's his face up in Ohio, he did attempt to run off from them for whatever reason, and I won't negate that.
Dante.
But we have the ability to outsmart them at this point because they don't care, so we get to care. Us caring outsmarts them. We have that on them, and it did set that precedent. Like if you want to not care on live video, go ahead, because I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do and let you be reckless. And I think we have that going for us. So it's still a moment for us because some of these people still don't care. We saw it in live, in real time. They're giving him a guilty verdict. Someone was getting murdered elsewhere because another cop was not caring. So all we have to do is remain vigilant and continue to be smarter than them and continue to do the right thing and do what we know we need to do. And they're going to continue being stupid because that's what they've been doing this whole time.
I think the worst part about all of that is the fact that we have to say it on live video.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of things that aren't going to make it a live video.
Yes, yeah.
And but the same standard should apply, but it won't.
Yeah.
Because it's not on live video. So like you get to watch a murder happen, you feel differently about it versus hearing about it because you become desensitized at this point when it comes to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like death has become very normal.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like COVID times and whatnot. Police shootings, unfortunately, have become very normalized.
Yes.
So
mass shootings have
become normalized.
Yes.
Not that they're right by any means, but like the feeling that you get, you're not as moved as you once were unless you're like directly impacted by it.
Oh, another one.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very unfortunate that that's the case. But the fact that things need to be caught on video in order for something to take hold in terms of justice or positive movements is really unfortunate. But as you were saying, and as you said, Esquire as well, we got to take our victories where we can. And we're going to take this one, we're going to ride it out. Because I'm sure niggas was dancing, literally dancing in the streets. Like this was probably the biggest thing we got since OJ got off. And he did that shit.
Hell yeah.
OJ did that shit. And he wrote a book that says, what if I did that shit?
Hell yeah. He did. So shout out to us.
Yeah.
Niggas, y'all keep fighting. And our allies, thank you for fighting with us. We appreciate you. It may seem like we upset sometimes, but we do appreciate those who are in the fight with us. Thank you so much. Well, that has been episode 13 of Knights of the Round Table Season 3. As we wrap up here. Playlist probably coming, maybe. I don't know if it might
Coley's
be
list.
Coley's list. We might
The
wait
scroll.
till the next episode to drop it off, since the gentlemen have been apparently just watching the gray static on the TV screen and not listening to music this whole time.
Funny.
So we'll wait until the next time for a playlist, but it is coming. Check out all of our other playlists, all of our episodes preceding this moment. We only got a couple more things left for you guys this season. We'll be wrapping it up really soon, so stay tuned. We will not leave y'all for a long time anymore until we are done for the season. What else is there? Businesses. Those of you who are listening to us, we see you out there. We follow you, and you follow us, so we know you hear us. We know you see us. Hit us up. Let us know what you got going on. If you want to give us shit, we love free shit, but we also love to support you in whatever you're doing. Like we said, our business of choice today is our friend B Invincible Designs. That is B_N_Vincible on Instagram. Check him out. Hit him up. He does excellent work. We love what he's done for us, And homie will be hitting you up for some updated coasters. Know that.
Swag.
But y'all check them out and support the fam. Other businesses, let us know. Slide into our DMs and check us out at Night Rounds for that. nightroundsclt@gmail.com if you want to talk to us for any reason. And other episodes, fellas.
Shout out to that. This has been season 3, episode 13. Thank y'all so much. Coley, where's your send off? Just say it.
Be good to us.
Be good to yourself. Be good to
What?
each other.
I fucked it up.
You just
You
gave
threw me
up.
off. I gave up.
Okay. Well, look. Thank y'all so much. Tune in next time. We'll be back. Love y'all.
Ow!
There's a stranger in my house.
Don't be an imposter,
It
bitch.
took a while to figure
We
out.
see you. We
There's no
watching.
way you could be who you say you are. You gotta be someone else. 'Cause you are not a Superman.
Ooh, those aren't the words. Okay.
Ain't